All right, so we are on the last topic for plate tectonics, which is the epicenter and actually finding it. So if you recall, the focus is the point underground where the earthquake actually happens. That's where that snap, where the rocks just can't take it anymore, and they release all that energy. And on the ground above it is the epicenter. That's typically where most of the damage is. All right, to find that epicenter, you need at least the minimum number that you need of stations are 3. You need 3 stations using epicenter distances to triangulate the position. You need at least 3. More than 3 usually definitely helps to pinpoint it even more, but you need the minimum of 3. So for us, what we are going to be doing is you are going to start the process by reading a seismograph. Remember, that comes off of the seismometer, which is bolted to bedrock. And when the rock moves, the little lines move on the seismograph. And then you determine the difference. We want the difference in between the P and the S wave, the times when they arrive. All right. So here's what you see in your notes. And I do apologize, the P and the S are a little hard to read sometimes. But if you look at this, I have 1, a space, 2, a space, 3, a space. It's just like in our reference table on page 11, right here at on the sides, where the seconds is every 20 seconds. So this is like 1, 120, 142, 220, 243. So on and so forth. So what we're going to see is the P wave hits at in 3 minutes. And then we go all the way to 440. That's when the S wave hits. So we'll take 440 minus 3 minutes, and that gives you 1 minute and 40 seconds. All right, let's look at this next one, B. P hits at 2 minutes. And then hits at 520. So 520 minus 2 is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And then last but not least, we have C, our third station, minimal of 3, hits at 2, and then all the way here at 620. So 620 minus 2 gives us 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the difference between, and you'll see mine's a little bit green on the inside right here. So we're looking at the inside part. Okay, so we're going to take those differences between the inside part, and I like to shade it a little green. That way I know this is my differences, this is my lag time. Those are interchangeable words. I take it for in here. Page 11 of your reference table, and you can use an index card to line up the times along the y-axis, aligning to the bottom of your card at 0 and hashing off the time on the cards. So if you recall what we did with the igneous rocks, we took the cards and we lined them up on up next to the percentages, and then you could hash those out. And then I gave you another way. So you could put them up against here, right like that. And I could hash off from 0 to 1. Similar to doing this right there. Just hashing it off and putting that. You could do that. That's one way. And then you could move it along on the inside as you choose. Or what you could do, because we know the time difference, you can mark off, say it's 5 minutes. There's a 5-minute difference or something like that. I can mark it off like this. Right? Like I'm hoping you guys can see it. Ooh, there it is. There's the 5, there's the 0. You mark it off like this, and then you can take that and you can pull it along the inside. The third way you can do this is you can count on the inside how much time you need. It takes a little bit longer unless you're really, really good at eyeballing time on the boxes. So you have 3 ways to do it. You could, again, you could do make your own little timeline right there. You could then put the times out like this and put them up through the middle, or you can count. So once you put the card, you kind of saw it a little bit. Let's try to figure out the epicenter distance for A. We know the difference between the S and the P. If I can figure out where on this line the S and P difference is, I can then follow it down to find the time, kind of like what we did with S and P waves, right? So what we had is 1 minute 40 seconds right there. So I hashed it off. This one's just a hash off. I didn't put the time on there, but I hashed it off. And then I brought it up so that I lined the P wave at the bottom. That's where your 0 is. And the S wave is where I hash off. That's the distance, the difference between the two. And then I follow it straight down, and I find my distance is 1,000 kilometers. All right, let's look at the second one. 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I make the mark, and I drag it all the way up till I find where the 0 is on the P wave line, and the 320 is on the S wave line, making sure that it's lined up and down, straight up and down, not sideways. All right, sideways will cause you issues. So I follow that down, and I'm left at 2,000 kilometers. All right, let's get our last one. Our last one was 4 minutes, 20 seconds. I mark it, and I drag it up. Again, 0 on the P wave, the 320 or 520 on the S wave, and I follow it straight down. I've got 3,000 kilometers. All right, so the next thing you see is on our paper, we have these marks, and we have these marks, and we have the distance. What you are going to do is you're going to use the scale to align the compass. On the compass, you will notice there is a dot straight in the middle. This dot, there's also a bullseye, goes directly on the 0. Right here, you put it directly on the 0, and you are going to open this. It is sideways to lock, vertical this way to move it. You are going to move it so that one of the holes, bearing in mind which hole you put it in, goes on to the correct distance. So I've already done this once, but I want to show you what I'm talking about. So I have the scale. I'm putting my compass right here. I'm putting it on the 0. So my compass goes right on the 0. And hopefully you can see it's right on the 0. I'm going to put my finger on it so it doesn't move. I will then move this to 1,000, which I think is like right there, which doesn't help. But say I want to go to, we'll do B at 2,000. I will move it until it hits 2,000 and turn this sideways. I am locked at 2,000 for B because you already saw A. Once you get your lock, whatever letter you're on, you are then going to take, making sure you remember which one you are locked onto, because I didn't do the 1,000, I did the 2,000. I will then come and take my dot again and put it, because I did the B at 2,000, I'm going to put my compass right, sorry, this is a little cumbersome, on the bullseye, which you can see I have my bullseye right on that dot, that B dot. I will then put my finger on that B, right like that. I will put my finger on the middle section. I can move my compass around. You will take a pencil only. Do not use a pen with this. Pens don't work well. I've used this lots. Pens don't work. So you'll put that right there, and you'll put the pencil in the hole at which you had the 2,000. In my case, I did the top hole. So I will put my pencil in that hole, and then I will follow it around in the circle. When you do that, you will get a circular compass movement, right like that. So say there's my 2000, just like I showed you. I will put my B right there, and then I will use my compass to draw the circle. And then you'll do the same thing with letter C. Letter C, I would go back up to here. I'd move this so that the 0 and the 3000 line up. It's not very easy to see, but my 0 and my 3000 line up. I will then bring my compass over here to C, place it on the C, put my finger there, put my pencil in the hole, the first hole that I chose for 3000, and then go in a circle with my compass. Once I have that, it's going to look similar to this, minus the colors. What you are looking for is you are looking for the spot, and it already clicked it for me, the spot, although this should be right here, the spot where all three intersect, right here, not right there, right here. You will put an X, or you will shade in the spot where all three align. So on mine, all three align right in that section. I will put an X, or I will shade it in. All right, so that is how you do these epicenters. If you have any questions, please, in this case, do not hesitate to ask any questions. I will help you as many times as you need help on figuring out how to do these ellipses or these epicenters, because they can be a little bit tricky. Make sure always put this bullseye on your 0 and on your dot and go around in here. My major tip that I want you to write on the side in big, bold, highlighted stars, do not use the measurements here. Never, ever use those measurements. I've had students measure from the 0 on the centimeter all the way out. That is not how you use these compasses. You have to use it from the bullet point in the middle and then move this around, all right? Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have a great day.